Although many different issues contributed to the Beatles' breakup, some of which will likely remain unknown to fans, the imbalance in songwriting power played a key role. At the beginning, John Lennon and Paul McCartney were the only members creating songs. But by the mid-1960s, George Harrison was steadily closing the gap. By the time the group split, he had accumulated such a backlog of material that he eventually released a triple album. A number of the songs, now hailed as his greatest works, had actually been written during his Beatles years, yet his bandmates showed little interest in them. Still, Harrison believed in the strength of his music, and time would later prove him right. In January 1969, only weeks after the White Album's release, the band assembled at Twickenham Film Studios to work on a new album and a planned television special. Despite having little fresh material and already feeling growing tension, they nevertheless turned down one of Harrison's strongest songs, a decision that still puzzles many. As shown in Peter Jackson's documentary The Beatles, Get Back, viewers can watch the moment when Harrison presented All Things Must Pass to Paul McCartney during early rehearsals for what ultimately became Let It Be. Throughout those sessions, the group revisited the track several times, but it was evident that Lennon and McCartney lacked the same enthusiasm that Harrison had for it. Like many of his compositions, it ended up being shelved. Harrison, while disappointed, was not entirely shocked. By then, he was already weary of the band's creative atmosphere. All Things Must Pass itself captured those sentiments, with lyrics reflecting the inevitability of change, the close of an era, and the acceptance that everything eventually fades. After the breakup, Harrison recalled that when he returned to England for Christmas and started work on what became Let It Be at the beginning of January, the environment immediately felt wrong. He admitted that he had begun to rediscover the joy of being a musician, but found that whenever he rejoined the Beatles, the experience became overwhelmingly difficult. The Beatles officially disbanded in 1970. By the year's end, Harrison had already reinvented himself as a solo artist, even outshining Lennon and McCartney, with music they had previously overlooked. His triple album, All Things Must Pass, soared to the top of both UK and US charts and featured timeless songs like My Sweet Lord, What Is Life, the title track, and Isn't It a Pity? Another piece rejected by the band despite being written back in 1966. Harrison later explained that Lennon and McCartney had such a constant stream of songs that they always prioritized their own material, forcing him to wait through 10 of theirs before they would even consider one of his. As a result, All Things Must Pass contained a flood of material he had been holding back for years. This dynamic not only left him frustrated, but also took a toll on his confidence. Nevertheless, his persistence paid off. While his former bandmates dismissed much of his output, Harrison had been quietly refining his craft. When All Things Must Pass finally reached the world, it revealed the depth of his artistry. He became the first Beatle to achieve a #1 solo album, and his collaborations with icons like Eric Clapton, Bob Dylan, and Billy Preston demonstrated that he could thrive independently, no longer in the shadow of Lennon and McCartney.